Hey everybody, welcome back to Nerd News. Today, I'm Matthew. Today we're looking at some more figures of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the Loyal Subjects BST AXN line. That is such a mouthful of words to say, I'm always shocked whenever I get through that entire line. Now back when I was a little itty bitty Matthew, I was getting all the Ninja Turtle toys that my parents could find for me. There was always one that eluded us, and that would be the original April O'Neil figure. It was in fact my godfather who ended up finding him through whatever means he found. When it comes to a godfather, it's better off you don't ask questions. But ultimately that was the way I got my hands on April O'Neil, and it was the figure you have to have with the Turtles. Lo and behold, BST AXN has been moving along with their Turtles line as well, and now we can finally add our own April O'Neil to that lineup because today that's who we're taking a look at. Now this version of April on the packaging is simply called the Reporter, but I've also seen it referred to as the 1987 version by the Loyal Subjects, so that means there might be plans for additional Aprils and other versions, other looks, other head sculpts, who knows, but for whatever reason they're calling that one the 87 version. Maybe that means there's potential for a whole lot more April down the line, which I would not be angry about. So let's just talk about the packaging real quickly with this figure here. It's the same as you've seen with any of the Loyal Subjects BST AXN figures. Simple rectangle, very compact, very collector friendly as well. And you got a nice big window on the front that lets us see the figure and all of the many accessories that she comes with. And I have to say up front, I'm pretty impressed by the amount of accessories. I am a little confused about one or two of them, but I'm actually really into the number that she has. There's a lot of good ones in here. If we turn the box to the side, you'll see this great cartoon image of April O'Neil. And I love the colors too. I just love the blue against the yellow. That's like perfect choice there for April. And on the back of the box, we have a very short but sweet bio about who April O'Neil is, a look at the toy out of the packaging, as well as more shots of all those accessories. The packaging also lets us know that April O'Neil features 31 points of articulation, which I am very excited to test out because, yeah, you know, we've seen in the past these BST AXN figures, they always boast that amount. Usually they deliver, but sometimes there's some hindrances. And with April's banana yellow jumpsuit over here, I kind of wonder if that's going to get in the way of getting a full range of motion as much as we've seen with other figures in the past. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get our reporter onto the scene and take a closer look at this April O'Neil from all angles. Alright, and here is our April O'Neil now out of the packaging. And here's a quick, big, wide shot of how this figure looks, and she's definitely pretty diminutive compared to the other Turtles. But she is still in scale, and just because I do have Slash here, just to show you guys as she flare-flops over, how she kind of looks as far as size goes, and you can see here, you know, definitely quite a bit of a size difference between the two of the figures, and that's correct. I mean, that's pretty much how they should look together. She is a human, so therefore she is smaller, but just wanted to show you guys early on how she looks compared to those other Turtles. Because it is something I kind of noticed pretty, you know, immediate as soon as I picked her up out of the packaging is how small she looks. And you can see, I mean, look at how thin her forearms are and the rest of her body is. So she is quite scrawny, really. That's the best way to put it, I think. She's a little scrawny. But again, she does fit in scale-wise, so at least it's accurate. But let's start taking a closer look at this April O'Neil now. Let's start with this head. And does it look like April O'Neil? Yeah, definitely does. Is it like an exact replica out of the cartoon? No, I wouldn't say it is, unfortunately. I think that NECA did a closer job of that, but again, this is a figure that's basically 2 inches smaller than what NECA did, so it makes sense. It wouldn't quite be the same size. But this looks really nice otherwise. Her hair looks enormous. I mean, granted it was the 80s, but her hair looks huge compared to like how the rest of her head looks. But as far as the face goes, I mean, it looks pretty good. I think the lipstick is the correct shade also. She had that kind of like signature pink shade that she had. Eyes are good, nose is good. It's a very nice sculpt, a very fragile sculpt, I guess, a very elegant. I don't think I want to use the word elegant here. I use that for a lot of reviews. It's more just very small feeling. And part of that is because her head is so huge, with that hair in particular. And the hair is great. I love the hair. I love it from every angle. That's pretty much perfect. I think I just wish that there was a little bit more detail in the face sculpting, because it is smooth. That's the word I'm looking for. It's very smooth feeling. And it kind of lacks a lot of like more detail that I would have wanted to have had with it. But otherwise though, too, looking at the rest of the figure, we'll talk about her outfit now. That part they totally got. They got that banana yellow jumpsuit. They got like the orange bits, which you would have seen also in the original figure as well. You got a nice little press logo on her chest there too, which that you didn't get in the old days, I don't think. But lots of good detail on this. Good fabric look, you know, good texture to it. I like her little collar over here as well. Likewise too, if you look down at her pants, you got some little pouches on her. This is like a reporter jumpsuit, I guess. I never understood why it existed like this, but you know, it worked. It was very, very toyetic, and it still is. Even down to her really kind of silly boots, but they work. They do work. So good looking detail in the outfit as well. It's a very solid representation of April in the cartoon, and that is the important thing to keep in mind here. It is based on the cartoon look, but I think they got a good look here. I think the one thing that's also a little bit odd though is probably her proportions. Now you can see she really has that like hourglass figure. Her butt is like really huge compared to the rest of her body, and likewise her chest is pretty huge compared to the rest of her body. It wasn't quite that big in the cartoons, I don't think. So maybe April's grown up a little bit, or maybe they're just really trying to appeal to a certain set of collectors. But for the most part, though, if you ignore those kinds of things, I still think it looks pretty darn great. So it's a solid version of April. I'm pretty happy with this one. So let's just jump right in now to accessories, and April has a ton of things. Really, she has a ton in this lineup here. The first thing being this nice little bonus that you get with every Best Action figure that you get. That's a sticker of the Best Action logo, and each one tends to be a little bit different. There's a few variations of it. And this one is more like a kind of like concrete look, which is really unique and interesting to her. One other thing she comes with that's not an accessory is this stellar trading card. All the Best Action figures get trading cards with them, and they do an excellent job. And these turtles are just a step above all the others. So it has this like great cartoon image of her to begin with, great cartoon portrait. But then we also have this like great chrome section all around the card. That's such a throwback to like the early 90s trading cards. I'm really into that look. And then we flip the card over, and you'll see it basically has the same bio we got on the back of the packaging along with the same photo. But still, that's nice. It's just a simple trading card. They did it really well. If anything, I kind of wish the image of April was a little bit brighter, because it does feel a little dark on this card, but information is there. I mean, the whole card actually looks a little bit dark, so maybe that's just a printing problem. But, information is there, good size, easy to read, and really, all that matters the most, though, is the front of this card, and that's just amazing. Great, great job there, Best Action figures. Wonderful. And as far as accessories go, April has so many. This is all of them just shoved in my hand right now. So I guess we'll start with one of the more important ones here. That's an alternate head sculpt. So this April features a second head sculpt. This is more of like a surprised face for her. Surprised, like she's about to be kidnapped, because that happens so many times. So I do want to do a swap it right now. Let's see how the head comes out. And I'm hoping the answer is very easily. All right, I think you guys heard that pop. That definitely is the pop of success. And here's how April looks now with this other head on her. And definitely a very surprised April. But still a very good looking head sculpt. Again, really no complaints. I think I actually prefer this head sculpt. It feels like there's just more detail and more expression in this one. So both head sculpts good all around. As far as which one you prefer, that is going to be a personal preference thing. But they're both actually pretty solid now that I've seen them both together. But if I had a choice, I would probably stick with that panicked one, or whatever the expression is. I don't really quite know entirely what to call it. It can be a few different things, but it definitely does feel a little bit nicer because there is more emotion to that face. I probably should actually spend a little bit of time and talk about articulation real quick, just before we go into the accessories. So you already saw the head is ball jointed because it came out really nicely and moves pretty nicely as well. The shoulders are ball jointed. They're ball jointed. There's a butterfly joint in there too, so she's got some good range of motion. You can see that right there. Elbows are double jointed, which is very handy for some of her accessories. The wrists can bend and flex. She has the chest section moves. Let's see if the waist, can't really tell if the waist moves, but yeah, at the very least the chest torso part, that does, the chest does. Her crotch section, we have a nice little ball joint for the legs there. This is about as high as her legs can go, by the way, this is the way it is. We do have double jointed knees, just like the rest of the figures, and same thing with the ankles. Ankles can rotate. And there you go. So that's her 31 points of articulation. For the most part, pretty solid, actually. Pretty good all around. So with that out of the way, let's start talking a little bit more about some of the accessories that she comes with. So April comes with an additional 4 hands here. So she has 6 hands total. The ones you see currently on her are just basically neutral, kind of open hands. I just noticed that wristwatch she has on, by the way. So we're going to do some hand swapping here. And so what she comes with is a few different things. She has a much wider hand. She has 2 hands that are meant for like holding things, which would be like, we'll put one of them in, I think. Put this one in her left hand, in fact. We'll see how this goes. Hands have generally been very easy. Yeah, they're very easy to swap out. So she has 1 wide hand, 2 of these gripping hands, and then 1 hand that you're gonna see right now, which is kind of an interesting choice. She has a trigger finger hand. All right, we'll come back to that point in a few moments, but let's keep putting some accessories on her. So she has a bunch of really cool stuff, you guys. So one of the cool things here, unexpected, but nice choice. We get a headset for April. It looks a little bit awkward on her, unfortunately, because her hair is so huge, but we do have a headset. So, maybe some amount of playing around with it will get it in a better position, but, again, her hair is quite big. You can stretch it around her head. That's how that looks. It's a little funny, but kind of a cool accessory still, to be honest. I'm kind of liking it, even if it is a little funny looking on her. We'll leave it on her for the rest of the video. Why not? We also get a microphone, Channel 6 microphone, so that April can be on the scene reporting. The downside I can tell you right now is that it's a very squishy material, so be gentle with this microphone if you wanted to get it into her hand. There we go. And yeah, it actually has the Channel 6 logo on it, that's a really cool choice. She also has a camcorder, and it's a camcorder on a stick. So there we go. And because it is double jointed, because she is double jointed rather, you know, she can actually get some pretty interesting poses with it. But we do have a camcorder, so there's how that looks. But most importantly, April's packing heat because she comes with a pistol, which I was like shocked to see that she came with a gun. But then I went back and I looked it up, I guess, and it's been a long time since I thought about it, but yeah, I had to look it up, and April O'Neil did in fact come with a handgun in the original Playmates toy. I think what it was is it actually like slid into her camera, so it was like a hidden gun hiding inside her camcorder. So yeah, April O'Neil is packing heat. I was so not expecting this, but you know what? It actually kind of fits. So that's how she looks. You know, with that panicked head on, this just looks even sillier. But it does work. It actually does kind of fit. So you know what? I'll give him credit for throwing that accessory in there. It's a good choice. I like how it looks. It's got some decent detail on the weapon as well. So yeah, you know, she's armed with her camcorder, her microphone, and her Colt 45 to seek the truth and fire at Foot Clan soldiers. So overall, the April O'Neil is very, very excellent. Great amount of accessories, good articulation, solid sculpting, really simple but good effective paint job. So across the board, it's just another really great Turtles figure from the Best Action Loyal Subjects lineup. Yeah, really good one. April's going to be one of those ones you want to look out for, because I'm hoping she's not going to be as scarce as she was back in the day, but it's definitely a very, very good figure and a must-have if you're getting the Turtles. You know, you can't have the Turtles without April. So if you want to pick her up for yourself and add her to your collection, there's a few different places you can go to grab her, including Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, or Amazon.com. And speaking of, I'm going to have some affiliate links in my description for this video for places you can pick up April that will help support this YouTube channel at no extra cost to you. So if you like this April and you like this review, I hope you consider using that link. This reporter is ready for some action, and she is ready to join your collection. I'd love to know what you guys think about her as well, so let me know in the comments your thoughts on this April O'Neil. So until next time, I'm Matthew. This has been Nerd News Today. Thanks for watching, and cowabunga.